señor Leon Waisbein.
Thank you. Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Aren't you tired? I knew you are not. After Michael, you can't be tired. Are you ready? Okay. I am. So I will just tell you about myself a couple of facts, not more. This is a very short version of my story. Of course, I have long version, but what? Translation? Is it working now? Is it working? Is it good? Are you good? Are you fine? Are you ready? Are you here? That's it. How many of you use translation? Can you raise your hands, please? Use translation. I see. Okay. So I will be very slow to allow proper translation. Otherwise, I speak very fast. No, I'm just kidding. I always slow, so it's fine. Those who speak Spanish, they're very fast. You know, Spanish is the fastest language in the world. People who speak several languages, they speak in other languages, they speak, slowly. And then when they switch into Spanish, you can't even, follow very fast. So I will be very slow. So listen, it's great to be here. Top leadership of Spanish-speaking U.S. businesses here, and this is great. And Maestro is here. #1 distributor is here. My favorite distributor is here. So we can start. This is not easy to do it after this kind of speech and Michael, and standing in front of the top leadership of the top growing market in the world, and especially in front of #1 distributor and Maestro. Listen, I don't hide it. Listen, I don't need to hide it. This is my most favorite distributor in this company. I can say it in front of, that's it. It's a fact. So, and just about myself a little bit. I started this business 20 years ago while being a poor immigrant from Russia to Israel. I was born in Russia, in Siberia, 43 years ago. Siberia is a big place. It's like United States and Canada together. This is something called Siberia. Big place. And people live there. You can't even imagine. Okay, so our parents, my parents, they moved to Siberia from Ukraine during Second World War. They just escaped, the war. So they came to Siberia, so I was born in Siberia. And 20 years ago, our family moved to Israel. And I found myself with no job, no language. You start from scratch. Mexican immigrants are coming to the US. You don't need to learn language, because everybody speaks Spanish around. It's Anglo-Americans need to learn Spanish. That's the deal. So when we moved to Israel, nobody spoke Russian except very few people, the old immigrants. So you had to learn language, otherwise you have no chance. And back in Russia, I was a medical student in the medical school. My dream was to become a doctor. I spent a couple of years in the army, in the Russian-Chinese border, 2 years, very nice. In the middle of nowhere, protecting Russia, protecting Soviet Union from China. Me. That's why war never, occurred during this time. So it was very nice. And then I studied first with first degree in medicine. So then we moved to Israel. Then my dream was to become a doctor, to have, to complete second degree and become a doctor. But it never happened because we tried to enter the university and it didn't work due to, language and the different type of exams and many different things. So neither myself nor my wife, so we couldn't get into the university. We've been both medical students. So, and then I found Herbalife. I was introduced by my friend who got incredible results with the product. So incredible that I couldn't, I was blown away. But result was so huge. I was in shock, and it was my friend. It was not someone else that you don't know whether it's true or not. I knew the guy from the very childhood, and so I was shocked. And he was also making money while I was an orange picker. I found a job to pick oranges. It was a very nice job. I was making $400 a month picking oranges. It was good, but it was definitely not enough to support the family and everything and all our spendings and everything in this new country. So I was sitting on trees and, jumping from tree to tree, to pick oranges. I was working as a monkey, more or less, Nice. How many of you anybody picked oranges? No oranges in wherever? In Texas. So I was picking oranges until orange season was over. Oranges didn't grow in Siberia, by the way. Siberia it's like Canada, okay? So they don't grow in Siberia. So and I never seen oranges, live oranges. It was closed communist country with no oranges. No oranges. So and there was no import-export of oranges, so that's why, I knew about oranges, but I never seen maybe once, twice, in my life. And here I'm coming to Israel and oranges are everywhere, and I'm sent to the plantation to pick them up. I was so excited, you can't even imagine. Before I picked them, I started to eat them, of course, right? Just to avenge my my orange-less childhood, you understand? So, and I've been eating and eating and eating and eating one day, second day, third day, fourth day. So several days I've been just eating oranges. I was pretending like I was picking them up, but actually I was eating. I was sitting on the tree and actually, eating oranges. After a while, I got sick, and I spent several days at home at certain place. I was really sick. Then the next 2 or 3 years, I couldn't, eat oranges. I couldn't drink orange juice, and I couldn't even, when I've seen, this orange color, it made me sick, orange color. So I couldn't go to the Netherlands. This is their national color in Holland, in Netherlands. But anyway, but then I started to pick them up, and everything was fine. And I've been making my $400, but it was definitely not enough, as I told you. Then I met Herbalife, became distributor. We started to use products, got incredible results. I was very tired and underweight and sick all the time. My immune system was not good, and I broke my nose when I was a child. It's not a joke. So I was boxing, and they broke my nose. And since then, I couldn't breathe through my nose, so I was sick all the time. And I was underweight and tired, and I was very sleepy. I was sleeping everywhere, all the time. I was just looking for a place to get, to rest. I was tired. So, and then I started to use products. I got so much energy immediately. I gained 10 kilos, which is, 20 pounds. approximately. I gained 20 pounds in 3-4 months. This is incredible to me. I'm healthy. So I still don't breathe through my nose, but I'm fine. I mean, I never tired, and I do great, and everything is wonderful. So my wife lost 10 kilos, which is 20 pounds. It's the same, so we just, neutralized. We got, and my parents got incredible results, and my entire family, they got just huge results. Results were great, and I started my business. I didn't know anybody. I didn't speak language, so I went to the street to look for customers, and I found several Russian-speaking immigrants like myself, and talked to them in a very strange way. And because I didn't know how to talk, I was presenting myself as working for the American company, and I can help you, to lose weight, and people didn't really, share my excitement. When you stop someone on the street and say, I can help you to lose weight, it's not easy conversation. But I didn't know what to do and how to talk. Finally I found some solutions, and I started found a way how to talk to people, and I got my 10 customers, and they introduced me to more people. So I got my 36 customers in my first months. I became supervisor, and some of my customers joined the company as distributors, and I got my first check. And we used to live together, my parents, my brother and his family, and myself and my family, and my grandmother. Everybody used to live together in one apartment because we couldn't afford different apartments. Immigrants. So, anybody was immigrant here? just kidding. Anybody knows immigrants? So, it's very interesting, to talk to somehow. You either talk to locals or you talk to locals. You never talk to immigrants, And here everybody is this way or another. Sooner or later, So you understand, right, what it means. When you come to the country, no, you don't understand, because you speak Spanish. And you come to the Spanish-speaking country. Let's face it, America is a Spanish-speaking country. It's their problem, to learn Spanish. It's not your problem anymore. It used to be maybe of your grandparents, 100 years ago. When you are coming to a country, actually they're born here, right? It was, New Mexico and, Texas. It was more or less this way or another speaking Spanish communities a lot, right? So it was never been an issue. But when you are coming and nobody speaks your language, that's a problem. This is a problem. So I started to work within Russian community, and then company opened up Russia, and I signed up my classmates. They became three of my classmates became presidency members later on, and some other people. So and then I learned to speak local, language called Hebrew, and then English, and then I started my international business, which took me to many countries. My organization today is in 35 countries, and doing good. Everything is wonderful. Everything is just wonderful. So this is a short version of my story. I could do it even shorter. Born in Siberia, standing up here right in front of you, in 35 countries. That's it. Life is wonderful. So this last 20 years, it was great. This is the bottom line. It's just unbelievable. But the next 20 years is going to be even more unbelievable. And I'm really excited about what's going to happen. And what Michael, did now to show the vision and values and everything, and what kind of company we are, and what the future is waiting for us. It's just, listen, we're lucky. We're just lucky. We just need to appreciate it every day. We just need to thank God every single day. That's it. Nothing else. Sometimes we forget how lucky we are. And we start, complaining that this is wrong and this is wrong. And something is not working for us. So we start complaining. Do you complain sometimes? Or it's only Russians who complain? Never complain? That's it. Okay, so listen. Yesterday we had this presidency meeting and discussed a bit the new opportunities within our business plan, within our new business plan. We have new business plan. Business plan, I mean, it's a combination of different interesting elements within our business. Nutrition clubs changed the business. It helped us to keep customers around. You know, customer retention is #1 priority in any business. Any business. If you are able to keep your customers around, you are fine. Then you add new customers, this is incremental business. You can grow. If you are not able to keep customers around, you need to replace customers. This is very tough. That's it. So you restart your business all the time. This is very high leadership level training, so I can tell you several things, which normally I wouldn't do in front of distributors or supervisors. I can give you an example. I had several president's team members in my group who said, listen, we can't continue the way we work. It was 10, 15 years ago. They became president's team members. They said, listen, I can't continue to do what I do because we are losing customers and we are losing, as a result of it, we are losing distributors. We just bring all the time new people instead of those who will lose. I can't stand it anymore. So we need to find the way how we keep customers around. And once we have it, call us and we will be back to business. President's team members, you just need to understand how acute the situation was in the company. And these are straight great people, you know, who achieved president's team level by working hard and by building business on, you know, high ethics and everything. And now they're coming saying, listen, we are missing the most important element, how we keep customers around. We just bring customers. We've been keeping 1 customer out of 10. Not good. Any company would search for solutions. And 10 years ago, you know, or 9 years ago, or whatever, 8 years ago, we started to hear about these nutrition clubs. Nutrition clubs. I don't know what nutrition clubs mean. We hear about different things. I've been searching, I've been looking for different solutions, not myself, but not just myself, but some other people. So, and you know, and now suddenly you hear something called nutrition clubs, and you don't know what nutrition clubs mean because we had our own clubs. Our own clubs, it meant to, you know, it was kind of, you know, some people worked in office, and, you know, we've been doing some weekly events for customers. Weekly gathering of all our customers, and we've been trying to influence them and tell them whatever. And it helped a little bit, you know. It improved situation. It was part of the operation to meet your customers on a weekly basis. But it wasn't the club with all the elements of the club. And then we discovered the club. We went to Mexico. Maestro helped us to learn and go all the way through and understand how things work and what the change is. And we've been, of course, blown away. I brought with me, not with me physically, 140 people from Russia, top leaders, president's team, millionaire team, and get team to Mexico to see it. So these guys did just unbelievable job. They accepted everybody like their own distributors. It's just amazing. This experience was just, it was like to be born again in Herbalife. This is it. They accepted us. They took us all the way through the country in all stations and everywhere. So I never experienced anything like that. So we came back, started to do this nutrition clubs the same way we've seen in Mexico. It didn't work. At all. We opened 200 clubs, same way we've seen it in Mexico, and it didn't work. People just closed it down after a while. And it appeared to be that we need to adapt nutrition clubs. Okay, it doesn't work in Russian. Home clubs didn't work. Okay, then people started to do it in a different way. They opened a little, 20 square meters offices and started to do it in offices, and it did work. And now we started to grow and grow. Last year we accounted over 1,000 nutrition clubs in this market already. And this is a great start, 1,000 clubs. It took 4 years since then to get to first 1,000. But now we see, based on the daily registration of new clubs, we see that we are going to double this year. We are going to hit 2,000 clubs this year. And of course, it had a huge impact on business. And first, it had huge impact on customer retention. This is just amazing. Now we are keeping 8 out of 10 customers. Instead of 1 out of 10, we are keeping now 8 out of 10. That's it. You don't need anything else in your life. If you know how to keep customers around, that's it. You solved your major challenge in business. Okay? So all those guys I mentioned, those presidents team, they're back to business actively. They are on fire. Everybody is on fire. Okay? So this was one change. Of course, club is an operation. It's not just daily consumption, morning or whatever. It's more elements to it. It's also, we run weight loss challenges within Nutrition Club, and trainings, and a little presentations, and a little business things, and whatever. So this is fully functional, business operation based on the fact that you can easily have 30, 40 customers per one active supervisor in the club. 20 in the morning, 20 in the evening within weight loss challenge groups or whatever. So you can run your customer operation very effectively, and you almost don't lose customers, which is unbelievable. And it's very attractive, and it's within the community. I don't need to teach you on clubs. I'm just telling you that our game changed, okay, recently. And recently means last, 5, 10 years. So another thing which was a major change was a change in marketing plan, which allowed small people to grow slowly. Beforehand, I'm talking about cumulative requalification and cumulative qualification to the supervisor position, right? So there are so many people who are interested to, if we are talking about old supervisors, who are interested to keep their 50% discount and supervisor position, so they are allowed to keep it even if they're just small consumers and they are not very active in business, which was another important element. And now company took it to the very distributor level and allowed distributors to go and accumulate slowly but surely, accumulate volume and become supervisors, not just those who want to move fast and do it now for 1,000 volume points, but also for the majority of people who are not ready due to this reason or another, not ready to do it fast. Okay? And this is, we're talking about 80% of people. 80%, the conversion distributor supervisor conversion rate is, let's say, around 20%, for example, right? It means that 2 out of 10 are ready to go now and ready to go fast, which is great. And there are, on top of it, there are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever people who need more time. Some of them need to lose weight first. Some of them are just consumers at this particular moment. Some of them, their mind is not in the business. Some of them are not ready, and some of them don't have confidence or time or whatever. So it allows them to go slowly into the thing and into the whatever. I wouldn't call it a business even. It's just Herbalife. We have an opportunity to get them slowly into Herbalife. As consumers, as small distributors, as people who try, as people who get ready. And now, after months, 2, 3, 4, now they are ready, and now they can make major steps towards business. They can become supervisors. Some of them have already customer base, distributor base, so now we have them into the business. So these are major changes occurred during the last several years. And this is definitely game-changing situation. Based on this game-changing situation, rules of how we can grow and how we can allow our leaders to grow and reach next levels are different, are new. We need to take it into account. If we don't take it into account, we stay in the past. We stay in the past. I want to share with you this concept. I will do it in two parts. One now and another one is after the break. And this is going to be the concept of how you can grow endlessly, okay, with no limits, forever and ever, with the high level of retention, of course, but retention is a technical term. I would say it's more than retention. It's high level of predictability of your future. Based on what we do today, we can predict, I would say easily, what is going to happen to a specific organization or region or city or country for the next years to come. We go and analyze certain figures and numbers and parameters of what we do. We've tried to do it yesterday on a very generic level. Tomorrow, we are going to do it with certain examples of certain people. I will show you how it works. But today, I want to give you an idea of how we grow to the next levels and how you help your people to grow to the next levels, because your next level is actually not your next level. It's a result of your people going to the next level. It means that how many of you want to go to the next level? It's a very obvious question, yeah? Very smart question. You know, you can predict the answer, right? Yeah, everybody. So if you want to grow to the next level, to get to the next level, you need to forget about it. Leave it alone, okay? You need to think about your people moving to the next level, not you. As a result of it, you will move to the next level. So it's always not about you. That's the bottom line. If you want to get to president's team, put it aside and help your people to get to the next levels. And you will achieve your president's team as a result of it. If your only objective to achieve president's team, this is not right. Because your organization, they will know it. That your only objective is to use them for your president's team or for your whatever team. So that's why it's not about you, it's about them. It's about you facilitate the great conditions for your people to grow. This is what all this is about. And this is what I'm going to tell you. So let me start with this presentation. Where's my... Exactly. Can I put it on the screen, this one? This one? No, not Elmo. I need the screen. Oh, that's exactly right. Michael, I just forgot it. You're right. It's right here. Thank you very much. That's exactly right. This is it. I don't know which one is it. That's exactly right. Yes, this is it. That's it. Thank you. That's the one, ladies and gentlemen. So how to get to president's team? Because we are in future president's team. If you ask me how to get to president's team, because if you know how to get to president's team, then you get to president's team, but then you just continue. You get to chairman's club, and then you, whatever team is, right? But here's the problem. I have no idea how to get to president's team. That's true. We have 160 president's team members here. This is what I was told yesterday. 160, can you imagine? It's a big amount of people. And they're right here in front of you. And this is very exciting. 160. When I joined the company, it was only 27 president's team members, 26. and nobody could even spell president's team. You can't say it. You can't mention the holy name, you know, of president's team. You could only whisper. No. We've been whispering millionaire team. We've been saying get team. It was net team back then. National expansion team. So we say, I want to be net team. And then some people said, we know the guy we've seen the guy. His name was Michael Cole. Who is a millionaire team. This was a big story. But president's team, nobody even mentioned. You can't say it, you know. You see? But now they're everywhere. It's just commodity. It just became commodity, guys. You just can trade it, you know. You can buy and sell. It's just commodity. So if you follow the group, you know, you can find the pin. Sometimes pin is, you know, they lose pins, these guys, sometimes, you know. And you can find the pin. 160 people. It's just commodity. But still we have no idea how to become president's team member. And here's why. If you put these people on stage now, I wouldn't say it in front of supervisors, by the way. If I say in front of supervisors that we have no idea how to become president's team member, they would say, oh, are you crazy? So what do we do here if you don't know? But here we can do it. You know, everybody understands here, get team already, so now we can, you know, tell you the truth. We have no idea. Because if you put these 160 people on stage now, and you would ask them, how you guys became exactly president's team members, they would tell you 160 different stories. Right? Is it right? I mean, everything will be about Herbalife, but it will be different. If you say, okay, you're excited, you're emotional, you became president's team, you worked hard during the last, whatever, 5, 10, 20 years, but tell me how exactly you did it. Put emotions aside, because your emotion is not my emotion. But how you did it, not been, not am, but do. What you did, what you've done, tell me. What you've done, what you exactly did. And it's going to be 160 different stories, trust me. I mean, they did more or less the same. But you will not be able out of it to say, okay, that's exactly the way to do it. Do you agree with that? People are different, emotions are different, stories are different, circumstances are different, so it's going to be similar but different. Is it so far? Do you agree with that? That's why we have no idea how to become president's team member. Next page. It was a good start, right? But here's what we do know, for sure, is how to become Get team member. This is something we do know. Listen, president's team is a big project. If project is too big and you can hardly describe it, you need to take this and break down into pieces and take care of small pieces. So to take big task and make it small task and then to go on small task. Doable, understandable, achievable, describable. You can define it. This is what I mean. Okay, something which you can easily define. Get team is something we can easily define. So today we are going to discuss how to become Get team. The rest is duplication. That's the point, ladies and gentlemen. If you know how to take supervisors and create Get team members in a very measurable, achievable, trackable, standard way, you can go and grow endlessly. That's it. Nothing else. You don't need to think about president's team. You need to think about supervisors becoming Get team members. This is more or less the idea of the next couple of hours, which I'm going to share with you, which is taking into account two major things. One is how we treat customers in this new Herbalife of the last several years. And second is what this new marketing plan opportunities we have and how we combine these two and we create most incredible mix we ever seen, not just in this company, but in the industry at all. And also I have great news for you. Okay, no news. Later. Okay. So here's the deal. We are going to discuss how we take any supervisor and make him or her get him. That's it. That's the whole point. Are you ready? Yes. Am I ready? Okay. I'm just reading here in English because the presentation is in Spanish, so I need to read it in English. Let me just put it here. Just a second. Okay. Are you ready? Are you tired? No! Now you are talking. Okay, I'll be standing here, if you don't mind. Do you? No! Thank you very much. You are very helpful. Listen, what we want to ensure is not just people are becoming Get Team members, but we want this. If someone is calling me, I'm busy. So listen, what we want to ensure is not just supervisor is becoming Get Team member, but supervisor is becoming Get Team member in the way, and this is very important, that this new Get Team member will take his or her supervisors to Get Team again. That's the whole point. I know many Get Team members who became Get Team member, and this was his or her last achievement in Herbalife for years. And they stuck in Get Team position. You don't know these people. It's just in Russia. This is Russian typical situation. Here everything is booming and growing and so on and so forth, and sometimes you don't pay attention to, situations when people are achieving and then they're stuck at certain level or somewhere, or certain territories or cities or whatever, just because the way they became Get Team or became Millionaire Team, they don't exactly know how they became, and they can't repeat it with their people. Sometimes we achieve a certain level based on someone else's effort, not my effort. It was my sponsor who arranged everything. It was big movement, it was big momentum, was national momentum, regional, whatever momentum it was. It's nothing to do with me. It was great STS, it was great extravaganza, it was great plan, it was great nutrition clubs, everything was moving, and somehow I achieved my Get Team position. Just brought people and everything was great, and now I find myself Get Team. And if you ask me how I became Get Team, I have no idea. It was not me. You understand what I'm saying? So this is not standard way to become Get Team. This is just, I was a part of a huge vehicle, and in order for me to do it, I just need to put people into the same great whatever. But if I find myself in a different territory without this huge momentum, I need to think, what do I do myself? How I take my supervisor and repeat what happened to me. The question is, what happened to me? How I became Get Team, besides big momentum, besides events, promotions, and everything else. What was the plan? That's the question. What is the plan? What is the plan so I will take my supervisors to the Get Team position, so they will continue. They will have the plan. So that's the question. Sometimes we have bigger momentum. Sometimes in some countries we have no momentum at all. It happens. So the question is, what do we do out of no momentum, no this, no that, no, no, no. This is how we started in Russia several years ago. Was no momentum. We created this momentum based on certain elements put together, and it's spelled a plan. We've created a plan, and everybody's on fire now based on plan, and of course certain elements which I already mentioned. So that's the point. So some distributors get team members, and then they can stuck at this level for certain period of time, and they are not happy with their growth. Again, this presentation is not for any market. It's just general ideas, okay? Some people can say, listen, but everybody's happy here. There are never, you can meet here a Get team member who is not happy with his or her, speed of growth. Is everybody happy with your speed, with your pace? How many of you want to move faster to the next level? You see, everybody wants to move faster. How many of you want to move slower? How many of you didn't raise your hands? It means everybody wants to move faster, right? So it's very important how these people become Get team members. This is it. That's the whole point. So we analyzed many statements. I'm analyzing all the time. I'm sick with it, I must tell you. It's my hobby, but also, I don't know how to say it in English. You know, when you are preoccupied with something too much? How do you call it? Obsession? Oh, exactly, obsession. So I have this obsession to analyze numbers. Very bad obsession. You don't need it. Michael just said it. Keep it simple. But sometimes I struggle with myself. I look at something and, it starts. I can't stop it. But you don't need it. I did it already, so I will just I will give you just conclusions. So we analyzed many organizations. Especially, it was interesting to look at people who don't move, who are not happy with their progress. It's not about you again, but it's interesting to know anyway. So, and we came to something which called royalty architecture. This was the conclusion. We need to understand how our royalty structure should look like in order to allow future growth. We have first generation of supervisors and second generations and third generations and fourth generation. We have those generations of supervisors. And if you put them into a picture, if you draw it, right? Or you look at, in BizWorks, you have this organizational tree, right? If you look at your tree, it shows you distributors and the distributors and super. It shows you everything. You're a bit confused sometimes. You don't see who is under whom because it's too many distributors and you don't understand the supervisor structure actually sometimes. But if you draw your supervisor structure, now this is your supervisor structure, right? And now you can see your structure. We call it architecture. And this architecture and this structure could be better put together or it could be not exactly right, which can facilitate future growth. So your future growth, this is the bottom line, depends on how your royalty architecture or royalty structure looks like today. And this is very interesting to see. I'm going to show you several examples. Even if your royalty is growing and your organization is growing, it's good to know how it's growing and why it's growing and what to do in order to let it grow forever. Because it's not about you, I just want to remind you, it's about your people who have no royalties yet. And the question is how you help your people to grow their royalties in the way so they would facilitate and ensure their people future royalties. So this is ongoing process. We cannot be satisfied or happy with our royalties. That's the whole point. There is no my royalties. My royalties is a result of many, many people growing or not growing royalties. Different groups. There is no royalties. Is it clear to everybody? You have 10 first lines, for example, groups, right? So we need to look how their royalty structure looks like. And based on this, we can say, okay, our royalties will grow, or our royalties are stuck because their royalties are not exactly. You understand what I'm saying, more or less? Are you with me? And now we are going to go into examples. So, here's what you can see here. Let me just give you and explain to you what you see. If you go to BizWorks, you can see your supervisors of your generations, right? Can you see it? It doesn't work, this one. Anyway, so anybody has maybe this laser? Anybody has a laser pointer? Just nobody?
It's really small. See it?
Why it didn't work for me? Everything works for you, but doesn't work for me. It's too small. Anyway, if you have, do you have a big, strong laser? Huge. Anyway, I know what to do. Can you switch to the camera, please? I will show this picture and explain to you what do you see and why it's important to look at your BizWorks sometimes. Thank you very much. So here's what you see. This is first line. This is just an average Get team member from the organization, whatever organization is, it's not important. We're analyzing the structure of this organization, and we say what to do next, what to expect. So this is first line. Okay, this is months by months. This is what they produce. This is entire organizational volume. This is months. This is first line supervisors and their volumes. This is second line supervisors and their volumes. And this is third line of a Get team member and volume. This is average volume per each level. And this is average volume per supervisor. So this is average volume for second line, for the generation, and this is for the average supervisor, and the same for the third one. So what you can see here, and this is what happens to many Get team members, you know, some people are very focused into, they say, sign people first line, recruit first line, recruit first line, recruit first line, recruit. And they recruit first line, and their focus is first line, first line, first line. And sometimes they forget that actually they recruit first line to create organization under those first lines. So they just forget sometimes the purpose of first line recruiting. Why we recruit first line, or why we create customer base. We don't create customer base just to service these 20 people forever. Right? We want to do something with that. Or when we sign first line, we want to do something with that. We want to create something. Otherwise, why do we do it? What's the purpose of first line recruiting? And many people forget it. You know why they forget it? I can tell you why they forget it. Here's why. And this is very important because we are in building royalties today. Building royalties, getting to president's team. We are not just in recruiting. Recruiting is one element of building organization, and we want to see the whole picture. How we create royalties, not just signing first line. So this is what many people do. This is what many people do. This is first day of the month, and this is end of the month. And this is 0 volume points, and this is 2,500 volume points, and this is 5,000 volume points. And now we have our supervisor, and we say, listen, or royalty receiver, or royalty member, says, listen, you need to do your volume. Some people do it based on retail, based on customers. Some people do it based on recruiting and new supervisors, and some people do it based on combination. But they are preoccupied with personal volume because some of them need to receive royalties. They have no choice, but they need to do their volume. Get team member needs to do 5,000 volume points, right? Is it right? Yeah. How many of you do 5,000 volume points? You see, everybody does. So you need to do your 5,000. Now, imagine that there is promotion going on and you need to do volume, right? And this is about your personal volume. Now you want to qualify for the reception, for the extravaganza, for this, for that, for something else. You need to do your volume. And you are very much preoccupied with your personal volume, and you forget why you do your personal volume. What for? What the purpose of the personal volume? Is it just to produce personal volume, or we have a fantasy of turning personal volume into royalties sooner or later? What's the deal? Why we do what we do? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Sometimes we need to face the mirror and say, what do I do, excuse me, why do I do what I do? Why? If not, the only way for our supervisors and get team members and some other people is just to achieve whatever some of them want to achieve 2,500 volume points, some of them want to achieve 5,000, but this is it. This is all they are busy doing with. From the first of the month to the end of the month, they need to produce volume. This is all they think about. To do so, they need to get their customers, and they need to get their new distributors, and to build first line, and to bring and qualify and do volume, and then month is over, and then we start it again, and again, and again, and again, and all the time we are busy with doing volume. And then we are so busy with that, so we are forgetting why we do this volume. What happens with people? Did we manage to help them to create organizations, new leaders, or we just keep going with volume? And go and recruit 5 new people, 10 new people. Okay, I did. What's next? Go and recruit again. I know some people who say, listen, you need to recruit 10 people first line every month. Fine. And they recruited 120 a year. And now it's month number 12. And I recruited. But what happens with those 110? This is what I want to know. What happened to these 110 people recruited in the first 11 months? Did they achieve any level? Did anything happen under them? Is there any plan for them to grow? So these are very important questions. So we cannot be just preoccupied with personal volume. We want to see how this personal volume is translated at the end of the day into my organizational business, into leadership growth, and into everything else. What do I do with my customers? Are my customers becoming my distributors? Do I need to replace all my customers? Do I need to replace all my distributors? Do I help them to create business under them, or I expect them from day one to know how to do it, which is very naive, and it's just big illusion. New people have no idea what to do. It means, am I involved with my old people, so-called? Old people means 2 weeks ago. I recruited. Am I a sophisticated leader, or I just screening people, looking for the next one who will buy 4,000 volume points, and then their historical mission is accomplished. They made my volume. That's the whole point. Am I in the developed business, developing leadership groups, real business, real network, or I'm doing with my personal volume? So why I'm showing this picture to you? What do we see here? This lady, it's just an example, was very busy with qualifying everywhere, She is great personal volume producer, top producer we call it. Top producer is counting just to find serious people, so-called, serious people. But nobody appears to be serious as she is. It means if this strategy does not work, we don't need to look for serious people. We need to be able to develop anybody if they want to. I'm not looking for recruiters. I'm building organization. It's two different things. Okay? So, another question. First line average supervisor produces 1,100 volume points, and second line average supervisor produces 450. Less than half. Why? Why average second line supervisor produces half of what the first line supervisor is producing? Why? It's just second line. It's not very far from me. It's the same people, the same, even it's the same office, I don't know what. It's the same people, first line and second. Why? Why second line is producing less than first line? Half. Well, that's an interesting question. What this lady is doing exactly? And when I started to interview, of course, the diagnosis was very clear. It's written on the wall. That's the wall. And it's written here. It's very simple. In BizWorks, you can see it. So I say, what do you do? What is the purpose of what do you do? Tell me, what do you do? What do you do? And she says, this is what I'm doing, and gives me a long list of what she does. I'm selling, I'm giving flyers, I'm calling, I'm doing follow-up, I'm bringing my customers. She's doing Nutrition Club, by the way, but it doesn't help. What I'm saying is she did great with customers, much better than it used to be. But still, she's preoccupied with her personal activity. And I'm qualified there, and I'm doing there, and I'm working with customers, and I'm working with distributors, and I bring you, and I go to this, and training, and HM, and yes, and I'm doing, I'm this, I'm this, I. I say, do you do anything which is not I? Which is, you know, something your people going there and doing something with them. Can you just say something which starts with we? She was not able to answer. So I say, listen, you need to stop saying I, and you need to stop thinking about you. You need to start thinking about your people. When you bring customer, what's next? If you bring distributor, what do you create under this distributor? Show me 6 generations deep under your new distributor, as Mark Hughes used to do. You remember Mark Hughes did this? I said, show me this. Stop thinking about yourself and stop producing your stupid personal volume. Sorry. Can you start thinking about your people? So this was the conversation. It's just an example. So then we analyzed 40 other organizations. And this is what we discovered, the same idea. Can we go back to the computer, please? So, and then we discovered that actually all those people who are not happy with their growth rates, they have the same situation. Wide first line, narrowing to the second one, and there is almost no third line. Why it's so important to look at? The same with production of supervisors. What's the deal? The conclusion is very simple. We should not be preoccupied with first line recruiting. We should understand why we recruit first line. What's the next? What do we do with people we recruit? We should not be in the mode of recruiting first line in order to replace last month's first line or last year's first line. We need to be able to bring first line into something which allows us to develop those people and build under them, with them, to help them to create organizations several generations deep. Once we know this and the new environment is created, then you can bring people wherever you want. But now there is focus on creation of generations and not just bring new first lines and restart every month from scratch. Another thing which changed is marketing plan. Now we can slowly create. We don't need to screen people to find next supervisor. We can let them go and help them to create slowly, to generate new type of volume, bigger volume than it used to be because we don't lose distributors anymore. Once they start accumulating volume, they're in the game. How many of you or your supervisors sell products to your distributors physically? They buy it from you. People with the ID number, but they buy it from you. It happens, they're actually, you treat them as customers. They're customers, right? They come to your club, right? Do you have this kind of people who are coming to your club, or they are your customers, but actually they have ID number, but they still buy from you? How many of you have this kind of people? Actually, almost everybody, right? So if they buy from you, you steal from them volume points. Are you aware of that? You steal from them their supervisor qualification. You don't see it this way, but it's fact, hard fact. You think, they're just customers, they're not interested in volume points. They are, they just have no idea about it. It's not promoted in this case. If you start promoting volume points to your consumers, you put them into the business. That's it. This is the way to put them into the business. So if you want this new marketing plan to work for you, stop selling products to people who have ID number within the company. Just stop it. You need to be brave and give them the opportunity to start accumulate volume towards supervisor qualifications. They are your future supervisors. Remind me tomorrow, I will show you, or after the break, I will bring you another file. I will show you how this looks like in the computer when they all buy products from the company and accumulate volume and become supervisors. You're going to be blown away. Trust me. It looks unbelievable. I have now, within my 3 generations, I have now over 1,000 qualifying supervisors. Over 1,000 supervisors who are, many of them didn't even think to become supervisors. They just came from clubs as consumers. But now they are in the game of accumulating points. So eventually they are becoming supervisors. But they're becoming supervisors through a process and a habit developed, so after their qualification, they will naturally continue. I have over 1,000 of them within my immediate 3 lines now. It means now they are part of their upline supervisor's personal volume, right? But soon they are going to become independent supervisors, right? They are going to become part of organizational volume for their people. So their royalties will start growing. It already happens, okay? It takes some time to understand, and it takes some time to experience, but you have no choice. You must give the opportunity to those people. Don't steal the opportunity from them. Don't sell products to them. This is bottom line. Send everybody to the company. It's not Russia, where they need to wait for products for 2 weeks, right? It's just 2 days. How long it takes to get products from the company? 2 or 3 days, that's it. Don't sell products to your people. Sell only to customers with no ID number. Those who have ID number, you say, great, congratulations. Let's place the order with the company, okay? And then you will get your volume points, you will improve your discount through the time, okay? And then I will tell you what to do next with them, how to develop them. But now they got points. And the next time you come to them and you say, wow, great, you have already 75 volume points. It's just unbelievable, congratulations. You're in the middle of supervisor qualification. They say, what is it? You say, let me just explain to you what is it. They're in the game already. You understand the difference? And then you say, you have only 4,925 volume points to go, and you're a supervisor. It's nothing. Let me show you how it works, and how we get more points, and how we bring people under you, and how we whatever. I will tell you next. But the importance is so big. If you want to use new marketing plan and work it for you, you will see 12 months from now, you're going to cry, I'm telling you. You are going to cry just 12 months from now when you take all your people with the ID number, called distributors, regardless who they are, customers or distributors, in terms of their willingness to do business or not to do, it's not important, and put them into the game. No points, no game. As Pedro Cardozo is saying, no money, no funny. So in Herbalife, no points, no game. Put them into the game. They already have ID number. But you want to sell them sometimes, right? You know, you want to get your retail commission now. Or you say, okay, I will send the guy to the warehouse. He will never buy anything. It's just waste of time. Don't think this way, please. Okay, get on the phone and place the order and help. Now, with your iPhone or with your regular phone or with the computer or whatever, so many opportunities here in States to place orders, it's just unbelievable. Stop selling products to people with the ID. That's it, bottom line. Send them all to the company. Develop a habit of a distributor rather than customer. Is it clear? You will appreciate it just several months from now. You're gonna love it. So, this is wrong structure. This is wrong structure. This is just an example of a wrong structure of someone who doesn't understand this structure. Now, if this is brand new Get Team, then it's fine. But if this is old Get Team, then the focus is wrong focus. Okay, we need to change the focus from building first line. You know why there is no duplication and there is no going wide, deeper? It's because if this is me who is building first line, who can actually duplicate me? Only recruiters like me. That's why it's not going down. That's why it's just very few people are actively building. That's why everybody's preoccupied with only first line. That's why there is no deep business, no new leaders. And that's why we slow down. This is how we slow down our business. Now, in order to analyze it, we use this kind of chart. I will show you the chart. That's the chart. It helps you to understand how you move up. It shows you number of supervisors in your first 6 lines, not just 3 lines. And you need to see month by month how it's growing. Thank you very much. Very good. So, can you see it here? I'll be running back and forth. Thank you, Michael. Michael is magician. So, 6 lines. Not just 3 lines I'm interested in. I want my Get Team member, or whatever leader is, to think 6 lines deep. Because royalties are paid out of 3 active lines. That's why we need to think about 6 lines. And then volume per generation, we want to see. Deeper the generation, more volume should come from the generation, right? This is the idea. This is when duplication is working. If duplication is not working, this is how it looks. If duplication is working, this is how it's supposed to look. So, and now I want to see volume per supervisor. I don't want my volume per supervisor to go and reduce and not diminish when it gets deeper. I want volume per supervisor to be the same volume per supervisor. If it's my second line, why it should be less? Per supervisor, I mean. Why my 3rd generation supervisor should produce less volume than my second line? This is ridiculous. It means that something is not working here. Okay? So this is the chart which we all use in order to see how month by month we add people deeper, not just wider, but deeper. Deeper you go, better to you. It's the opposite approach of recruiting first line. It's building deep. If you know how to build deep, now you can add wide. Now we can widen. But if we don't know how to build deep and we just widen all the time, we stay with first line. And then we should rely only on recruiters. And recruiters, this is very unique and small category of people. And we need to be able to rely on everybody and not just recruiters, excuse me. So if you want to analyze your royalty structure, take out of your structure all existing Get team members and analyze your structure like you are just first upline Get team member. Everybody can do this exercise. Everybody, including president's team members, by the way. I do it all the time. I look how my organization looks like where I'm just upline Get team member. When I work with my supervisor, with my customers, I'm a supervisor. When I work with my supervisors, I'm a Get team member. When I work with my Get team members, I'm a president's team member. And when I work with my president's team members, I'm a founder's circle member. But this is just an illusion. Let's put the illusion aside. Let's get back to a Get team. This is the real thing where you are Get team member, upline Get team member. Leave alone other Get team members for a moment and stay where you just only one Get team member for your supervisors and wall team members, and look and see how your structure looks like, whether it's this or that. And now you understand you are building first line or you are building real organization. Okay? So the next page is this. This is what it's supposed to be. If we are building right, this is what it should be. This is just schematic, very schematic. This is not real picture of any real organization. It's just an idea. This is what it's supposed to be. We don't forget that royalties are calculated from 3 active levels. That's why we need to look at 6 levels deep and to make sure that our third generation is making royalties. This is your biggest thing. When your third line is getting royalties from their 3 lines, then you are building real, solid organization with a big future. Make sure, bottom line, that your third line is getting royalties, not first line. People tend to think first line. What about my first line? First line, first line. It's a mistake. First line is just first step into the building organization. By the way, who cares about generation? If I'm working with my distributors or new supervisor, you never know who will stay and continue, right? You know, you spend some time in the company. You know that people come and go, and active people get to your first line, and anyway, right? So that's why you don't need to think line, generation. You need to go and work deep, and real people will catch up with you. Don't worry. So this is how it looks like. You see there are some empty spaces, empty whatever. These are not active people, so that's why we need to think 6 deep, and that's why you get royalties from deeper lines. Some people are not active, some people are not getting full 5% royalties, and you get your roll-up. How many of you receive roll-up? You know what roll-up means? Everybody knows what roll-up means? Anybody doesn't know? Everybody knows. That's why we need to build deep, because you get money from everything, don't worry. But this depth means that you are doing right thing. There is foundation. Each next generation should go and become wider. New Get team is fine, but you know, when you progress with the time, proceed, it should grow. What do we see here? We see a building. This is a building. This is the construction factory, you know. They are building a house and then they move it to the place. This is not the way normally buildings are built, but this is the new technology. They just create a whole building in this factory and they just move it, put it on, you know, rails and just move it to the place, and that's it. It's done. It's a new technology. Why I show this picture to you is because, what time is it now, by the way? It's time for break. No, we will have a break and then we will continue, don't worry. You need to have your whatever food, shake. Listen, just this one will be last and then we'll continue after the break. So, or maybe let me just finish this, the whole idea, or it's not finished here. No, it's not finished. So after this one we go to the break. So why I show this to you? These people build all, you see how many floors? How many floors? One. Oh, really? It's like 6 generations. This is very interesting. So they build all 6 generations. These distributors are very smart. They build. Sometimes our distributors don't build 6 generation deep because they don't understand that to build up or to build down is to build. So they say, I will be building first line, and then I will be expecting my first line to build my second line. This is what some people say and do. This lady which I told you, which I showed you the example. And then my second line will build my third line. They don't work for me, first of all, okay? But second, if we take this example here, these builders, architects and whatever, they would say, okay, we will build first floor. We will populate it with people, and then we will expect from these people to build second floor. Strange, right? They don't think this way. They have a plan, and they know how the building should look like. They build all 6 stories, all 6 floors, or 20, or 30, or 100. They don't build first floor, and then they, you know, expect from the people who are going to live in the first floor to build the next floor. But this is what this lady was doing. She was building first line and expecting from these people. And she says, he is not serious. She is not serious. How he or she can be serious? She just signed up yesterday. What do you want from this poor person who have no idea what all this is about? You are not serious. You are not placing orders. You don't buy 4,000. You don't buy 1,000. Okay, not serious. Next. Come on. Come on, baby. This is not building. It's not building. It's a screening people. It's stupid. I'm sorry. You worked so hard to bring this first line, and now you say you are not serious. Of course they're not serious. How they can be serious? Out of what? If you are not serious, how they can be serious? Just kidding. Okay. Look at your supervisors. Do you have not serious supervisors? Why? They are so old in the business, but they're still not serious, right? Or do you have not serious Vault team members? You know, I have one not serious presidency member even. But why should I expect, you know, be serious from a distributor who I signed up yesterday, having no idea of what I'm talking about? I said, listen, Herbalife is a big company. You want to join? They said, yes. Okay, you joined now. You're not serious. This is what they do, those first-line recruiters who split people into serious and not serious. They build just first floor, but they forget about the task. They need to build a building. So it must be a strategy which has nothing to do with which line I'm talking to. Is it my first line? It's my second line? My third? I need a strategy to create an organization and grow leader on top of it and say, okay, you are in charge of this building, and you are now independent. It takes 1 year, 2 years to create a real structure and release it to the market. It doesn't mean that I'm a slave of this. It's not slavery. I'm not working for these people. I'm leading the way. I'm working with them to delegate my expertise to them, and it takes time. And you never know who is going to be serious, first line or his brother. Did you sign his brother sometimes under him? Did you? Did it happen to you that this guy actually appeared to be the real thing, the real one? Did it happen to you that third line appeared to be more serious? Serious now in the real meaning of a serious. Really serious, really committed. But these guys actually were someone who introduced, each other to to you. But actually, historically speaking, they disappeared later. Did it happen to you? Yes. If we are just limited with first-line thinking, we would never meet these people. That's why we should not think first line. We should not think lines at all. No lines. Forget about generations. Just go and build, and I will show you how to do it right after the break. You're gonna cry.